From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your evening update.
Hey folks, good evening. Hope you had a nice Easter so far. I would say the weather's cooperated for the most part. It's been a little windy out there and cloudy, but you know, a little cloud cover's never hurt anybody. We'll be cooling off just a little bit through tonight. We're only going to end up in the 60s though. I don't think we're going to cool off much more than that. Those clouds are really going to keep us insulated through tonight. Watch this on the Futurecast. You'll see what I'm talking about. Sharp winds staying out of the south there at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Widespread cloud cover. So we really don't cool off much more than about the lower to mid 60s in some of the cooler spots across the area. But as we head through tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon especially, we warm right back up, right? We're going to be back where we were earlier today in those mid to upper 70s range by midday and probably right near 80 when all is said and done with this. So we have a pretty nice Monday in store for us. Some of us even have those lower 80s creeping in there on this Futurecast model. So definitely a much warmer day, probably the warmest day of the year so far for many of us as we head through tomorrow, mainly due to that warm, moist air coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. However, that does have a kind of a consequence, right? This system here is why we're pulling in so much air, right? That's going to be pushing east with time here through tomorrow and especially through tomorrow afternoon. Notice these kind of band of showers and thunderstorms as we head through, I would say midday to about 8 p.m. tomorrow, or well, I say tomorrow through Tuesday especially. That's the time frame to watch. Now the system gets out of here. We might have a few showers wrapping around it Wednesday, but we cool off quite a bit and dry out nicely towards the end of the week. In the meantime, though, we got to talk about this system here. We had a level 2 out of 5 risk area-wide across the Tennessee Valley. 60-mile-an-hour winds and a hail diameter, maybe even greater than an inch is possible. I think the thermodynamics are actually fairly favorable for some perhaps larger hail with some of these stronger storms. And of course, there is some degree of tornado threat with this. Now, is it going to be some level 5 out of 5 major outbreak? No, it's not going to be that. But it doesn't need to be that to be dangerous. Of course, if you get one of these storms rooted, as we call it, and it takes advantage of the atmosphere, you could easily put down a tornado in systems like this. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, see how this evolves as we get closer and closer to it. So let's just keep an eye on this. Again, this is Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Stay with the Tennessee Valley Weather Team. We're going to have several updates over the next several days as usual. And of course, when the day comes and if anything does happen, we'll be live with you nonstop until danger is over. So let's just keep a very close eye on that, see how this evolves, because it's April here coming up in the Tennessee Valley. You always want to be on guard. All right, here's your hometown forecast for tonight. There are those widespread clouds and temperatures kind of hovering there in the mid-60s, right? You can kind of see what I'm talking about when I say those clouds kind of insulate the area. We can't really let go of that warmth. It kind of just stays in the lower atmosphere, so we stay kind of in the lower to mid-60s across the area. And of course, as we head over the next couple of days again, we have those 70s, 80s. That's kind of what's in store for us there. And again, keep a very close eye on Tuesday, and then boom, we come crashing down in terms of temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. But look at that, spring returns pretty quickly by next weekend, so we have some good weather on the horizon. We just need to be on guard and keeping vigilant as we head over the next 48 to 72 hours.